Let me ask you something. Lean in closer. How many times have you said no to something just because fear showed up first? What if instead you dared to say yes, not knowing exactly how it would work out, but trusting you'd figure it out along the way? Hey, it's Jodi Silverman, and welcome to Dare On with Jodi, the show where you and I get real about daring to live, lead, and dream in midlife and beyond. Today, I'm sitting down with Nicole Stephenson, a lecturer at the Wharton School and someone who knows a thing or two about stepping into leadership before she felt ready. Nicole's story is packed with lessons about saying yes, even when fear was shouting no, asking for help without shame, and why your network and even your competition can be your greatest allies, and how manifestation isn't woo, it's aligning your thoughts with your action. And here's the thing, you can't push through fear if your own inner voice is holding you back. That's why the very first step is learning how to turn your inner mean girl into your best friend. I created a self talk cleanup 7-day mini challenge to help you do exactly that. And it's waiting for you in the show notes after this episode. So if you've been feeling stuck, disconnected from your dreams, or just ready for a little push, this conversation will give you the courage to take your next daring step. Let's dive in and dare on. Nicole Stephenson, welcome to Dare On with Jodi. I'm so happy to have you here.
I'm so excited to be here.
I know this is going to be a great conversation, everybody. So buckle up. Here we go. All right. So why don't we first start where we always like to start? Share with our audience who you are and a little bit about yourself.
I would love to. As you know, Nicole Stephenson. I'm also a part-time lecturer at the Wharton School, which is at the University of Pennsylvania. I teach a communication class there, and my journey started in radio. I actually started at KYW News Radio in communication and media, and so a lot of background in communications, event planning, marketing, the whole umbrella. My journey at all of those places are very unique, and that's why I love the title of this podcast, Daring On, and just talking about being daring, because many of the opportunities that came my way were unplanned. They really gravitated towards me, and my ability to not say no and just try things really led me to all of my career opportunities where it was, I don't know if it was irony or fate or whatever, but many of the opportunities that I had, I would be in a position for like only 4 or 5 months, and then the director right above me was leaving. And I'm like, whoa, I'm way too green to take that on. And sometimes people would agree. And so I really had to do a lot of training to say, yes, I could step into this role, or sometimes I was overlooked, right? And I did the job for 6 months till they found the person, and then a new person came in. And so I had a very unique journey where every opportunity I've been in, someone has stepped away almost too soon. And so really coming to the mat to lead is just something that kind of fell in my lap that I rose to the occasion to do and loved, right? And kind of found these purposes.
So I don't know. We never talked about if you have a spiritual belief side, but to me, that's like the universe. That universe wasn't knocking on your door. That universe knocked down your door. Like that's a universe knocking down your door. If that happens over and over again, it's telling you, this is your path, Nicole. I mean, I truly believe that with all my heart and
I'm
soul.
in a big believer. If he brings me to it, he'll bring me through it. Like
Yeah.
that's why I always tell people, they always talk about the euphemisms of like if you can't go through the door, go through a window. Like when I was early on, I always encourage students when I go to talk to students or clubs or whatever, I would always say like, don't say no, because the worst that can happen is you'll find out what you don't want to do, right? Like take
Yes.
every
Yes.
opportunity. You never know where it's going to lead.
Oh my God, the thought that just popped in my mind, seriously, is my husband Sam went to the university, went to Drexel University in Philly. And for those of you that don't know, it's a 5-year co-op program.
Yes, Drexel is a
And
huge program.
yep, and he knew he was going to school for accounting, and his first co-op was in a bank. And he was like, oh no, 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 no. So his next co-op was in public accounting. And that was when he found it. So yes, what you just said, saying yes to something and realizing you don't like it, or maybe it didn't work out, and you realize I really didn't like it anyway, that's like a good thing.
Right, exactly.
Sometimes you have to get to the no to get through the no to get to the yes.
That's right. So my internship at KYW News Radio, I was interviewing for it. I remember my supervisor, she's like, "Can I tell you a secret?" She's like, "I know you're here to interview for the newsroom." She's like, "But it's actually a marketing position. I just am desperate and I need an intern for marketing." And I was like, well, man, I'm already here. It's in the industry I want to be in. I do need a marketing credit. So I was like, you know what? Why not? And then ironically, like I said, I just kept getting pulled into marketing and pulled and pulled. And I'm like, obviously I have a talent here I didn't know I had, or I'm not seeing, or there's something that was really here. And like I said, I went in part-time, started working there finally, and I was in both departments, and then full-time opened up in marketing first. I needed health benefits and a full-time job, graduating in the stock market crash of 2008. So like, for me, marketing just kept pulling me, and I just kept saying yes. And now I can't imagine doing anything else. I love what
Yeah.
I do.
Oh my God, I love so much. I've never really heard this. We've seen each other so many times. We
I
were always together at chamber events. As a matter of fact, you are the reason I said yes to joining the Mainline Chamber of Commerce. You are the reason when you were there.
yeah.
And I thank you for
Thank
that
you.
because I met some really great connections there. And it was a time where I really didn't know if I wanted to get back into networking again. And I'm so happy I said yes. So you have so many nuggets in there. I mean, I don't even know where to begin, but just to backtrack, when you like dare everything you said, dare to say yes, just dare to try it because you never know what could happen. That's the whole foundation of everything that I've built, including this show. The
Mhm.
foundation of dare and daring on is just taking action in anything, just to say yes, just to see what could possibly be for yourself. And then
Right.
part of daring is also daring to say no. And yet I would say when an opportunity shows itself, but okay, so when an opportunity shows itself, so does fear. So does fear. And we call that being in a daring moment of, okay, fear is here. It's a good opportunity. I'm not prepared. I don't think I'm qualified. So how did you face that? How did you handle not allowing the fear to take over and have you like really turn around and run away?
You know, I would classify myself as an extrovert. I also would think that, asking for help is something that, some people might say, oh, when you ask for help, it makes you a weaker leader, or it shows that you have new weaknesses. Whereas for me, I would rather ask for help and accomplish the things that I need to than fail or let people down or just not. And there's so many studies around this of like surrounding yourself with the smartest people in the room. Make sure your team's smarter than you because then you'll never have a lapse or a gap, right? So for me, I've never been embarrassed or shied away from asking for help.
Yeah.
And I have a tremendous tribe. I mean, I have really built an incredible network of people.
Yes.
And you don't have to be an extrovert. That's kind of where I'm going with this because you might say, well, yeah, easy for you to say you can ask for help. You have people to ask, or you're not afraid to ask. But that was the biggest defining moment for me was that whenever there was something that I couldn't do, I would lean into it and ask my supervisors. Like, I even remember, and I don't know why I keep going back to my earliest days so much. Maybe I'm just in a reflection
You
phase.
are, I would say you're in a
But when
reflection
I was
mode.
in radio, I was in charge of marketing and I had zero graphic design skills, yet I was in charge of their newsletter and their databases. And I had never really worked with software systems in college. Like, I'd never really done any of that because that was not part of what I was doing. And, we learn more in the field than we do in school, unfortunately, sometimes. And my husband's a graphic designer, and I kept coming home and asking him to like design things for me. Like, I'd be like, "Can you do this on the side?" And he was just like, "I can't keep doing this," which he
Yeah.
like put a boundary in, right? Like, "I can't keep making your logos. You guys got to pay me or something has to give." And so I just went to my boss and I said, "Listen, I've been using Photoshop with my husband at home. I think I can do it, but I can't keep asking him." And the University of the Arts at the time was offering like a $450 Photoshop course. And I was like, "Do you mind if I take this course?" And they were like, "Sure." Like, that's not a big ask, right? Like to
Right.
say, can I do some other classes, or can I get a certification? So I would encourage people that are maybe a little bit more introverted, where they won't come to someone like you, Jodi, like, hey, person in my network, can you give me some advice on XYZ? Like, look for smaller opportunities where you could do things online, classes, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And
So
don't be afraid to even ask your employers to invest in you, because they are the ones that are going to benefit. And so
yeah.
for me, that's what I've done. Whenever there's been a gap, like I didn't know something, I'd be like, can I take a class? Can I do this course? And I'm a lifelong
I
learner.
think that shows your employee that you're like invested in yourself and in them, not just winging it, that you're willing to take time and learn it. I
Yeah.
think that's a wonderful thing. But I'm going
And
to,
that's where the fear comes out, Jodi. Like, you
yeah,
asked me, how did you handle these things? That's what I did. Whenever I noticed there was something that I was uncomfortable with, I would admit it openly and say, I can't do this. Can I take a class? Or, hey, I'm going to call up my husband who's a graphic designer and ask him how to resize this
yeah,
photo. Or I'm going to call my friend in HR and ask for her advice when I'm having a challenging, experience. Like, hey, you're in HR. Is this appropriate? Can I do
right.
this without, whatever, because not every company has an HR department. So my two friends are in HR. I'll call them
I
to
love
discuss.
that. I like that. I like the way you push the fear aside and do, because it'll stop the fear builds only because it's trying to quote keep you safe. I always say that voice in your head is trying to keep you safe from something you don't need to be safe from. Like it's yeah, you really don't. I'm going to challenge one thing though. I want to challenge this for the woman who's listening right now who's saying I am that introvert. I want to tell you that even extroverts are scared. Yes, I agree 100%. We are more likely to step out and say, "Here, world, I am here." And yet, I have to tell you, I introvert, extrovert, no matter who you are, how much success you have, what a novice you are. The thought in your head is, why would Nicole talk to me? She's the head of this, and she has. Why would she take the time to talk to me? And I'm going to share something with you. When I started the podcast, I got to a point where it's going really well. But anybody who has a podcast, I don't care, unless you're Mel Robbins or Joe Rogan, even if you're in the top 3%, 2%, I'm in the top 5%, woo woo. It's hard to push it out. It's hard to get more download. It's just like it's hard to get any messages out today. And there was a woman who I was introduced to, and she was like top 1%. I mean, I even think she's in like the top half of 1% right now. And somebody introduced me to her. And I thought, okay, now somebody did introduce me to her. But during our introduction Zoom, I said, Susan, I have a question. And if it's no, it's no, but I have to ask. And I asked her if I could have 20 minutes of her time when she had the time, if not now, to talk specifically about X. And she didn't even hesitate. And I have found so many people that are 10 steps ahead of where I want to be are so willing to talk to me. That's like what I say to that's what I say to the kids who are like 20 some year olds. I'm like, if you want to do something in life, find somebody who's doing it and reach out to them. These grown-ups want to talk to the kids who are looking to be the next generation to come into their space. And as long as you put some thought into what you want to ask them and you have a plan on what you want to ask, I don't know anybody that would say no. And the person that says no to helping you, it's a wrong person and they weren't
Wrong
going to
fit.
help you anyway. Right. So I,
Jodi, it's interesting that you share that story. I have a very similar story. So I think I may have mentioned this to you before, maybe I didn't, but I've written a book. It's almost finished. I'm in the manuscript phase and then approaching publisher. But I have a story in there about that because, when I was leading the Society of Professional Women, and I did that for a decade, so many people would say things to me that I just couldn't believe, like humbling, like where I'm like, whoa, you think I'm important? And not that I never felt important, and I am not putting myself down, and I
right.
do understand the gravity of what that role was and is. But like I remember we had some really high profile speakers. I mean, we've had the first astronaut, one of the first female astronauts. We had the founder of Build-A-Bear, like these really high level women. And I remember we had a woman that was very intimidating, super high profile, national celebrity. And I'm like, I'm just going to go for it and ask her to lunch, right? And I'm thinking to myself, like, why would this woman ever have time? First of all, she probably doesn't even have time, not even like in a negative way, but like,
Right,
why
right.
would
Yeah.
she really come out of her way to meet me for lunch? And she said, yes, when we were in that lunch, I asked her, I said, I am not the woman to put myself down. I don't like when women talk negatively about themselves. But I just was like, I just have to ask, like, why are you having lunch with someone like me? Not that I think she needs to meet with someone for lunch in order to gain, because that's another thing. Like, do we only connect to
No,
gain? Not
no.
necessarily, you never know. But like, I'm that way. I love having lunch or conversations with people if I feel like that would empower
Right,
them, even as
right.
a positive boost to their life. So for me, I just had to know. I'm like, why did you say yes to me? Like, do you think I'm important? Like, and she was like, because your energy, like you gravitate, people gravitate to you because of what you're putting out, and you were putting out what I wanted to be around. And I'm like,
Oh,
oh my gosh,
oh,
it was just so
yeah.
exciting to hear that, because I'm like, so often we do put ourselves down, and like so many people think because I was on the podium all the time that I have this huge confidence, or because I do podcasts like this.
Right, right.
But I can guarantee you that even before I got on with you, Jodi, I second guessed myself, only because when you're in a um, public figure, when you're like someone who is, seen
Yeah.
publicly, everything you say can be torn apart, edited, whatever. Like you can make this. I remember giving a quote once, for example, when someone asked me about women's equity. I gave a quote all about like 5 or 6 things that were amazing, and the reporter pulled out the one negative thing I said about men. So of course it came across that I was like some crazy man hater, but that's my point. Like people are going to take away
Yeah.
things and scrutinize it and look at it. And so when you come on podcasts or when you get on stage, you are very
Vulnerable.
insecure, no matter how
Yeah,
extroverted you are. So I
absolutely.
agree with that challenge that you're saying,
Yeah.
because I know that people are like, oh, you're such a natural up there on stage. You're so great. You should do this. And I'm like, ooh, but you don't have any idea how much anxiety I get before I get up there. Like I'm
Yes, I
glad I come
do.
off
Oh, yes, I
confident.
do.
I'm so glad that I come off confident, and I am mostly. Like
Yeah,
I'm a professional. I've trained. I have media background. Like all of these things
I
that
know.
enable me to dare forward and do it. But it is not like, oh, I'm cover girl like Maybelline or whatever, whoever it is, because I'm born with it. Like I am not born with it. Everybody has a little bit of self doubt and a little bit of, confidence
Everybody.
issues. Everybody, and it
Yeah.
does come easier to some than others. I'm not negating that.
No.
But yeah,
No.
I definitely get nervous, and I definitely second guess who's in the room with me and why I should even sit at the
I know.
table. And it's that we're trying to break. We don't want people to feel like they can't sit at the table.
Yeah. And it all comes down, we're very much alike, personality wise, very much like.
Mm-hmm.
But what I think that the whole key to that, and I'm going to move on to, I have a really good question for you,
Okay.
is that to push through fear, ask for help.
Mm-hmm.
When you don't know something, instead of fearing, oh my God, I'm not smart. Oh my God, they're going to hate me. Oh my God, I'm going to get fired. Just ask. Just say, I think I know how to do this. I think I could do it better. Can you help find a person who can help you? Or I love the idea of saying what you said about going to your husband and, okay, what do you think about a course? I love that. I think it shows a lot of what is the word I'm trying to look for? Commitment to your position and commitment to the company when you do that. So I love that. Okay. I want to talk about, we all talked about how much fear we have, and everybody rewind that and listen to that whole thing because that was so good. Um, a lot of people, in addition to fear, especially women, the women, our audience, they're in midlife. They are undergoing some kind of transition. Either their career is not fulfilling anymore, or maybe they're retired, widowhood, divorce, whatever, empty nest, whatever it might be. A lot of our audience feels stuck and they feel disconnected to their dreams. So we want to offer them. I ask you, like, what would be one simple step way that you'd recommend for that woman who's listening right now saying, oh my gosh, she's leaning in, she's like, that's me, I'm stuck, to help her start moving toward the dream, even if it feels so far off?
Okay, so this is great. I'm gonna try not to get too woo-woo on everyone
No,
about the
go
whole
woo, go woo.
manifest. I'm gonna talk about two parts to this so that it could be less woo-woo for some. So I am a huge proponent of manifestation. And
Yes.
when I say it, I'm not talking about, using salts and stones and all that, which you totally can, by the way, or prayer or whatever your vice is to manifest. But my point is this. In the last 2 years, I would say, I was introduced to a pocket of women that I have become my tribe of help, like I was talking about earlier, where the women I've chosen are my competition. And so that's the two-part fold. And I know this sounds crazy, but I would say that most people look to people and have the jealousy aspect of like, oh, I wish I was them and they have this and I don't. And I say, instead of being bitter or negative about like, you have to look internally and say, why am I jealous of this person? What do they have that I want? And why are they getting it and not me? Well, it goes back to, remember how we talked about asking for help?
Yes.
The irony is, like, go to your competition and ask them to lunch and say, how did you get here? And can you help me? And can we get there together? And then, so like over the last 2 years with these individuals who I adore, they're not really my competition yet. Hopefully they will be if I start speaking one day. But the point is,
They are, they just don't know it yet.
yeah, right. No, but like quite honestly, it's almost like the karma effect, like when you talk about negative karma, but for me it's the opposite of like positive karma, where like I started helping these women. I started like giving them speaking jobs and introducing them to other people that could hire them to speak and do this. And the more I was helping others, the more I noticed I felt like I was getting more opportunities as well for different reasons, and not necessarily through them, some through them, but like then I started reaching out to other people. So like then like a lot of people would ask me to help them get jobs, which is ironic. I mean, mainly because I work with a lot of companies or whatever, but randomly someone was like, I know you're friends with these two people who I love. Like, I'd love to meet you for coffee. They talk about you a lot. I hear you're really positive. Can we talk? And then, no exaggeration, I talked at that coffee meeting. We talked about a few things. I really got to know this person, and I said, you'd be great for this job. I introed them to the person on LinkedIn who was hiring. She got the job. She just told me last week. And the fulfillment I got from that, like, I don't really know her very well. I doubt she'll be able to do anything for me. And I don't want to say it like that, but my point
No, but
is,
I get it, because we all think like
people win, it is extremely gratifying. I've never looked at other people winning as my loss. I was always like, hell yeah, there's room for success for everyone. So for me, I took away the competition. I stopped that. It's like, I'm not going to be worried about what this person's doing over here. If anything, I'm like, what are you doing? Help me get to what you're doing. Or, hey, can we share it? Because you know what? If we're both successful, it's better than just one person being successful.
Absolutely.
For me, it's twofold. So through the manifestation, the reason why I talked about manifestation is because when I started going for these opportunities that we talked about that felt too far-fetched, I already envisioned myself there. And I told myself I got it. Like, I was like, this is me. And one of the women in my group, and this is why I said it was manifestation, she literally copies and pastes our pictures onto things and will be like, this is you next year.
It's called a vision board.
Right. And honestly, over the last 1 to 2 years, with the three of us doing all of this manifestation together and empowering each other and making connections to it, it has been like the craziest 2 years of my life, where I just feel completely at peace. And I want that for other people too. So if you're asking me what people do when they're stuck, look for people you want to be like, and don't be afraid to say, I want to be like you. Don't do it in a negative way. Do it as like you are my goal, and I'm going to go after it, not to spite you, but because you excite me. And I want to like
inspire me, right?
Yeah, make it a positive, right? And really manifest that for yourself. Like, don't say what if. Say, I'm going to get here. Like, this is me next year. This is me in 6 months. Like, don't let it intimidate you. Say you're already there.
Nicole, I love that answer. And I'm going to help you because I'm all woo about visuals. I host an annual vision board workshop every single year in February.
Yeah.
I do that. So, look for it.
We had a girls' weekend with my sorority sisters who do tarot cards and fun crystals just for fun. And we swore when we started doing that 3 years ago that when we do the tarot card readings and really manifest with each other, like, everyone started achieving their goals. So like this past spring when we went away together, I literally brought a ton of magazines and poster boards, and I was like, we're vision boarding this time.
Yes.
They're like, what is going on? And it's because one of my other girlfriends told me about how she does it. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to literally do that. And so I have my vision board on my refrigerator, by the way, still there. And I'm like, this is just motivational because sometimes we can't be what we can't see. So you hear that a lot in the DEI and D space, right? Like
Yeah.
diversity, include, like belonging. Like you don't see yourself there, then it doesn't feel realistic.
Right.
And so for me, I'm like, you know what? Damn it. Yeah, I am going to put all this stuff on a board, fun and pretty, that I could look at so I can really visualize it, because
So
it really helps to hold you to it too. Because you're like, oh, you're staring at it every day. And you're like, God, I want to be that person with the in-ground pool in my backyard.
it is
Like it
your
motivates you.
it motivates you to take inspired action. It acts as your North Star to bring you back when you're off course. But you said something, you can't be what you can't see. You know how people say, I'll believe it when I see it? You have
Yeah,
to see it,
to believe it.
then you'll believe it. So I want to say this for all you non-woo people, because I love manifestation. Because I do a vision board presentation, I do a whole keynote talk on visualization, manifestation. But to break it down for the concrete person, all vision boarding is dreaming and putting your dreams on a board. And all manifestation really is, for those woo, we think it's magic because we believe in magic because we're magical people. It is aligning your thoughts with your actions.
That's right.
And that's how you manifest, make things happen. That's what manifesting is, seeing it, dreaming it up, seeing it, believing it's possible without
Right.
knowing how it's going to happen. And then you just take aligned action, and boom, all of a sudden when they wake up and, oh my God, I achieved that. That's manifesting right there.
Well, Jodi, another thing and another point is that I'd like to make it, there's a statistic, and I don't know the exact thing, off the top of my head, but it's about negative thoughts and positive thoughts,
Oh,
or compliments. And we were literally just talking about this the other day because my friend had like 50 compliments and one person in the survey said something negative and nasty. And they were so focused on the one thing. And I think there is science, like a
there
science
is. It's
study
called
on
a
this.
negative.
It's like, it takes like 7 good thoughts to erase one bad one, or whatever the number is, but it's like astronomical. It's like you get 10 compliments to fight one bad idea.
It's a negativity bias.
Right. And I tell you this because
Mm.
I did this once, and I don't do it as much as I should because I like shoved it in my drawer and I stopped because it just got whatever. But I know people that literally have like a statement on a piece of paper that they read every morning that's like, I am powerful, I am brave, I am smart, and they just read these things. And some people have a quote, or some people have something they made up themselves. Some find it online. Maybe they do a different quote every day just to inspire them. But the reason why people are doing that is because they're trying to drown out the noise. Like they're trying to stop with all the negativity, whether it's self-talk or external talk or whatever.
Yeah.
Like we need this manifestation. We need this positive reinforcement because unfortunately it is loud, especially with social media. It is constant.
Yes.
And it is not good for our health or our well-being. So if you manifest something good where you're saying every day, I'm going to get this job, I'm going to get this job, I'm going to get this job. When you go in for the interview, you're not as intimidated because mentally you've already trained your brain to think you have it. And so you're more confident, you're more relaxed. You're like, damn it, I have this. So like, I would encourage people that feel stuck also to start doing that a little bit. Like, you know what I mean? Like write some quotes, write some self-affirmations down. Some people put sticky notes on their mirror. Some people have it in their office. Whatever you need to do, I encourage you to train your brain to like say these things.
I love it.
Every day, I am strong, I am powerful, I am whatever you need to do. Yep. But I really encourage people who are stuck to do some affirmations too.
Absolutely. Love it. Great tips. Great tips. Okay, we got to wrap this up.
Okay.
So I have two smaller things. We're going to do this rapid fire.
Okay.
The first is, there's a term that is so overused out there. It's living your best life. Go live your best life. I'm living my best life. As concise as you can be, because I know this is hard, because it's a big question. That's why I say this. How do you define living your best life for you? How does Nicole define living your best life?
Living my best life is, oh man.
I know it's a loaded one.
It is so loaded. I mean, I feel like I finally come to that point. I don't know if it's because I'm going to be 40 years old soon, or if it's a realization that just comes with experience or time, but surrounding yourself with the right people that do not suck your energy and really just want the best for you is living your best life. Like having others want you to live your best life. And I know that we shouldn't care what others think and all that.
No. That's different. That's
different. The older you get, I feel like the more you're easily able, because a lot of people think family has to be forever. And I have a lot of chosen family. And trust me, I'm Italian, so cutting out family was very difficult for me. but you cannot have people that are jealous of you. You cannot have people that do not want well for you in your life. And so I think that does come with experience. But me living my best life is surrounding myself with people who want me to win and caring about that and not trying to suck me or drag me down. So living my best life is living it with those that want to be with me in life.
I love that.
And not holding on to relationships because you feel like you have to, right?
God, oh my God, I love it. As a best way to define that. I love that. Oh my God, you have no, after this, we're going to talk because you've no idea how in alignment we are. Anyway, okay, finally, this is Dare On with Jodi. We cannot leave without a dare. We need to dare the woman listening to this to do something. What should our audience dare to do? And if I know you came up with something, because if you don't have it, I do.
You mean from our conversation?
Anything. What you can choose anything you want.
And I want to say, I know a lot of women are listening, but honestly, men face these struggles too, and we don't talk about it enough. And I feel like they're also not allowed to like soul search or, do these kind of things. So I would dare people to seek out those opportunities that they're most afraid of, and not hold back. I would encourage them to explore it in a different way. So this is a good way to do it because I love volunteerism as well. And I talked about this a little in my book too. If you're afraid of something, an easy pathway in is to volunteer in that capacity. So joining boards of nonprofits, for example, most people think, oh, well, you're in marketing, so you're going to be our board member that does marketing. Don't do that. When you join a board, be the finance chair or be this or be that. This way, if you're volunteering for a philanthropy or a cause that you care about, you're going to be doing that anyway. So there's still some fulfillment there. But it gives you the ability to explore other areas or skills or talents that you might not be in tune to. And then maybe you find another passion in that, right?
Love
so
that.
This way you could say, or if you're joining a board in general, maybe that's the passion that you have so that when you're in a boring job, let's say, or whatever, you don't feel stuck because your outlet of your passion is here and you have that available to you. So I would encourage people, if they're not happy in their everyday job, that they volunteer somewhere that does fulfill that for them. And on the other end of that, if there's a job in specific that you'd like to try, if you're already in a nonprofit board or whatever, maybe ask to switch departments or whatever they would call it in a working board. Like, hey, I'm really interested in planning events. I've never done it before. Can I be on the event committee for our big gala that we have or whatever? Just so that you can try some other talents. Because like I shared with you, ironically, I was able to try other things because it kind of just got thrown at me, thankfully. But like, some people don't get those opportunities. So where can you still experiment with careers without leaving your career? Because not everybody has the big luxury of just switching their career overnight. And honestly, it's hard to get a job in a job you've never had before. So at least if someone says, why would we hire you to be an event? You could say, well, I planned a gala for the nonprofit I sit on. I may be a CPA, but I actually did an event for this, and this is what we did. So I encourage, dare people to volunteer your time at a place that you have passion and a place where you can explore. How's that?
I love it. It was a perfect dare. Perfect dare.
Okay.
All right. Love it. Love it. Nicole, I could sit here for hours and I can't, and we're going to meet for coffee, but thank you.
Good.
Thank you for being part of the Dare On, the Dare On family, Dare On, and being part of the show. It's a great conversation. It's going to help a lot of help and inspire a lot of women listening, and hopefully some men too, because I know we have some men out there listening, and we talk a lot about women because we're all in the women empowerment space,
of course,
but men need empowerment too. So thank you, Nicole.
You're welcome.
Dare On. Okay, so here's a reminder today. Fear will always show up, but courage is choosing to show up anyway. Nicole's story is proof that daring doesn't mean you have to have it all figured out. It just means you're willing to ask for help, learn as you go, and surround yourself with people who want to see you win. So what about you? What's the opportunity you've been too afraid to step toward? This week, I dare you to take one small step closer, whether that's sending that email, asking the question, or volunteering for the thing that scares you just enough to stretch you. And remember, you don't have to do it alone. Come join me in the Dare On membership or inside the Moms Who Dare Facebook group. You'll find the links in the show notes below. Until next time, take a deep breath, choose your yes, and dare on.